Opposition to the Nazis. The White Rose Group. The White Rose Group was started by students at Munich University. They were led by Hans and Sophie Scholl. Hans had served as a medical orderly on the Russian front and had seen the atrocities and war crimes committed against the Jews, Poles and other enemies of the Nazis. Hans and Sophie believed if they publicized the atrocities, Germans would rise up against the Nazis. The White Rose was a symbol of their belief in justice. In one of their pamphlets they wrote, "We will not be silent. We are your bad conscience. The White Rose will not leave you in peace." They gave out their leaflets during World War II, criticizing the Nazis and encouraging Germans not to help the war effort. Hans and Sophie were arrested by the Gestapo in 1943 and were executed. The caretaker informed the Gestapo and the Scholls were arrested, tortured and beheaded. Sophie Scholl had her leg broken and had to limp to the gallows on crutches. They were described as despicable animals. Source 1. A leaflet by the White Rose Group. Hitler cannot win the war. He can only prolong it. The German people see nothing and hear nothing. The German name will remain forever dishonoured unless German youth rises at last to crush its torturers. The Edelweiss Pirates. Gangs became part of a national youth resistance movement called the Edelweiss Pirates. They were named after the Edelweiss flower they used as a symbol. The flower was a symbol of their resistance. Pirates wore check shirts or dark trousers, and different groups had different names like the Navajos or roving dudes. At weekends they would go on hikes, meet other groups and hope to beat up Hitler youth patrols. During World War II they collected propaganda leaflets dropped by Allied bombers and posted them through people's doors. They also sheltered Germans who deserted from the armed forces. In 1944 the pirates killed the head of the Gestapo in Cologne. The group were caught and hanged. Source 2 from a Nazi report. Every child knows who the pirates are. They are everywhere, and they know each other. They beat up Hitler youth patrols. They don't agree with anything. They don't go to work either. The Swing Youth. These were young Germans who listened to swing or jazz music. They were usually from middle-class backgrounds. Remember that the Nazis did not like jazz music, which they associated with black Americans and saw as un-American. During the war, swing clubs sprang up in German cities. The swing youth wore English and American-style clothes, and the girls wore makeup, and Jews were accepted. A common greeting was Heil Benny, after the band leader Benny Goodman. The Nazis were outraged and tried to stop their behaviour. Some of these young people were punished. For example, in one case, Hasso Schützendorf was put in a concentration camp in October 1942. He was made to push trolleys full of earth uphill for a fortnight. He was also thrashed with an iron bar and made to cut off his hair. Source 3, a Hitler Youth report on Swing Festival in 1940. The dance music was all English and American. Only swing dancing and jitterbugging took place. The dancers made an appalling sight. They had long hair flopping into their faces. They dragged themselves practically around on their knees. Source 4, a letter from a Swing Youth member to a friend. Make sure you're really casual, swinging or whistling English hits all the time. Absolutely smashed and always surrounded by really amazing women. Pastor Martin Niemöller. Niemöller was a U-boat commander during World War I. In 1933 he welcomed Nazism, hoping that Hitler would restore Germany to greatness and reverse the Treaty of Versailles. However, Niemöller changed his views when the Nazis set up the Reich Church. In 1934 Niemöller established the Confessional Church and spoke out against the Nazis frequently over the next 3 years. Hitler was furious and ordered Niemöller's arrest in July 1937. Niemöller was given 7 months in prison. When he was released, he continued to criticize the Nazis. Eventually, Niemöller was imprisoned in Sachsenhausen prison concentration camp as a personal prison of the Führer. He survived for the next 7 years and was rescued when the Allies liberated the concentration camp. Source 5, from one of Niemöller's last servants before he was arrested. We must use our powers to free ourselves from the oppressive hand of the authority like the apostles of old. We are not willing to remain silent. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Bonhoeffer helped Niemöller found the Confessional Church. He believed that Christianity could not accept the Nazis' racist views. He spoke out against the Nazis and in particular the Nuremberg laws. In 1939, Bonhoeffer joined the Abwehr, the German counterintelligence service, which worked to overthrow Hitler. He helped organize Operation 7, which helped a small number of Jews escape Germany to Switzerland. In October 1942, he was arrested and spent 2 years in solitary confinement. In April 1945, he was sentenced to death and executed by the SS shortly before the camp was liberated. Galen. Galen attacked the Nazis as early as 1934. In 1941, he revealed the Nazis were killing mentally and physically handicapped people. Galen attacked the Nazis as early as 1934. In 1941, he revealed that the Nazis were killing mentally and physically handicapped people. Galen led a campaign which made Hitler call a halt to the euthanasia campaign. The Nazis did not want to make Galen into a martyr, so took no action against him. However, 3 Catholic priests were executed for distributing his sermons. Propaganda Minister Goebbels said, "If anything were done against the bishop, the population of Munster would be regarded as lost for the war effort, and the same could be said of Westphalia."